Live. I'm Braden. This is Elijah. Elijah's over in Germany right now. He just got to Dusseldorf, and so he's doing some work for us over there. How's your experience been over there?
Life changing, life changing. To actually, you have all these thoughts about what it could be, but to actually, be boots on the ground and breathing the same air, just being around, it's been a life changing experience.
Right on, dude. Right on. Is it your first time in Europe?
It is my first time.
Nice.
I've only been to Asia before this, so going here, I mean, it's eye opening for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen the stories that they've posted on Instagram and all that, and it looks cool. It looks way cool. I've never been out of the United States, so I've always wanted to go to Europe and kind of travel the world. And the pictures they posted looked way awesome. So it's pretty cool that you get to be over there.
Definitely, like we not only were going into each market and each city and just trying to get a feel for the cities, but we also were able to, and we are going to visit all of the arenas that are out here. So I think that's just important, trying to really bring the vision of how we're gonna bring that experience to fans.
Have you gotten the chance to speak to any European fans in person?
Soon, I think we're actually going to be linking up with our super fan Michael Klein. Soon.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to meeting up with that bull. I'm super excited for that. MK Red
Nice.
Life.
I'm surprised he's not in the chat already. Usually he's already talking, so maybe he will soon.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on in Dusseldorf right now. You got the Christmas, festivals and people. One thing I've learned about Europeans is they know how to take some breaks. They know how to give themselves those vacations. So I think right now is that time of the year for them.
For sure, yeah. I hear those Christmas festivals. There's something else. Yeah, it's something I've always wanted to do for sure. So it's cool that you got to go and be a part of that.
Yeah, because it's like I feel like back home, it's like you gotta like go out of the way and drive and find it. But being out here, it's like you have no choice. You're just in it. You're in it. There's the environment, just pushes you forward to experiencing amazing things.
So are you like filming content over there for the documentary and all that?
Of course,
Nice.
always, wherever I'm at, always documenting. So, I mean, that's just been a dream, to be able to, it's always a dream to be able to travel and do what you love. And I think it's going to be an amazing end product, because of that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So what's the biggest difference between preparing for the league here in the States versus preparing for the league over in Europe?
Um, I wouldn't say that there's necessarily one, but I just think that there's a lot of different aspects that we have to take into account as we're trying to bring this out, and I think we're just intentional with everything we do. I wouldn't say that there's one big difference. I think there's a lot, honestly.
For sure, for sure. What's the setup process like? Can you reveal much of what you've been doing, or?
Yeah, just going out, meeting people, going to different events, just putting ourselves out there into the cities that we're in, and traveling around and just being outside really, so that we can absorb, the culture, the people, talking to people, interviewing people as much as I can. Anytime I get into an Uber or a taxi, I'm trying to pick their brain. I'm trying to understand what do they know about American football, what's their culture like, really. So that's been cool.
Have you found out that like a lot of people are into American football and they watch it and stuff?
I was actually surprised there's more people into it than I expected. But what I will say is that they just need to become more educated about the game. Like they don't necessarily understand it. Like for example, if I were to ask you how can you explain the game of rugby to me? You probably might know about rugby, but you probably couldn't explain it to me and all the
Right.
different
Yeah.
rules. So I think that's the type of comparison I'd make.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I think that the biggest thing, honestly, is just getting them involved and watching the games because you kind of pick it up as you go. It's kind of hard to explain it if you're just telling somebody, but once they start watching the game and the fact we're bringing it over to them, I think that it's gonna make it so that a lot more people get into it and they become like almost obsessed with it. So I think that we're well on our way to doing that for sure.
Definitely, but at the same time, there's a community out here of football lovers already too. So we just got to expand upon that and feed those people too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
But
how
even
many?
like going to just like part of our experience, like we've been going to the arenas and just being able to like see some of the blueprints behind it, and
Nice.
just there's like so many different aspects that go into bringing a game that a simple game to life. So it's just been an educating experience for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot behind the scenes that a lot of people don't realize. So, yeah, it's definitely a process for sure. How many arenas have you been to?
So far, we've been to two arenas. We went to Porsche Arena, which is in Stuttgart. Awesome, man, awesome. The people there that work at the arena, super friendly, humble, amazing people. And then with that arena, it's kind of dope because it's split into two. It's like there's two arenas in one almost. You have Porsche Arena, and then you have Hans Meyer Schuyler Hall, and that has
Nice.
history that's been around for a long time. But then Porsche is kind of the new variation, and so it's kind of a cool different setup down there. And then we went to Hallen Stadium in Zurich, and wow, that was one of the nicest arenas I've ever been in general. Regardless of the size, it was just it felt like a elite college campus. You know what I mean? So it's exciting. Like you definitely like whoever's playing in Holland Stadium should be hyped up for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Zurich Ibex. Yeah, that's the team that's going to be playing there. So I'm pretty pumped for it too. I want to go catch a game in person over in Europe. So I think now that you said that, that's probably going to be the one that I go to be honest with you. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So did you find out that like a lot of the stadium workers and stuff are like pretty excited to bring football to the arena?
Definitely, definitely. Just understanding like this is all we're all a team. We're all a team just trying to bring this great game to the fans, and some of them which don't even know about what we're trying to bring to them. So it's just a team effort. I think that's the main takeaway from it.
Yeah, yeah, like you said, it's almost like asking the average person about rugby. They might be familiar with the concept, but the ins and outs they might not know a whole lot about. But once it comes to their arena and they're able to see it firsthand, they're going to be, I think they're going to be hooked on it right away. So it's pretty cool that people are really receptive to bring arena football to their stadium. So that's pretty cool. How's the time change been? Because you're what, like 8 hours ahead? Is that right? 8 hours?
9 hours
9 hours
ahead
ahead.
from what I'm used
From
to.
from Vegas. Yeah.
From Vegas. It took some getting used to. Yeah, it took. I would. There's nothing. There's no way to get around that. I feel like you just got to give yourself a little bit of time to recover for sure. But the travel wasn't as bad as I've done. I've gone to Singapore. I've gone like on an 18-hour flight. So the flight that we took was probably like half of that. So it was pretty easy money for me. Um, just got to give yourself a little time to recover.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I bet you like slept the whole next day.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm
That
still
that's what
trying
I
to
would
catch
be doing.
up.
Yeah. Corrine says Elijah has been brilliant on this trip. I can't wait to see the documentary from our experiences here. Uh, B, what are you most excited about our European conference? Well, personally, I'm excited about seeing the culture and the different traditions that the Europeans have. Because I look at soccer games and I look how excited they get for that, all the flags waving and like all that. So I'm excited to see that brought to football because I watch the NFL and there's some cool traditions in the NFL. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like soccer is like a whole nother level. So if we're able to bring that energy to an arena where it's like a 20,000 seat arena and everyone's packed in, it's that the atmosphere is just going to be like electric. So that's the part I'm most excited to see is the energy that the European fans bring.
Yeah, bro, that gets me excited too. Just having let's say the European fans come to America and they're gonna get down, they're gonna have fun. You know what I mean? I just think that they're amazing people. Like I want to have a beer with them and just have a great time and just what I mean. And so I
Yeah, for
think
sure.
that to our sport, it might make an evolution to our sport. It could evolve. What we've seen from the past in arena football. I think that's kind of the energy that I'm sensing.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, yeah, like you said, it'll be exciting to see them come over here for games and bring that energy over here. And since the playoffs are all in one spot, they're all in Vegas. We'll get to see European fans come over and root for their team and bring that energy over here. So I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, and I think another thing, just being out here and actually being able to be in the cities, you kind of just get a feel of the potential storylines, the potential rivalries that could be coming between even these European cities. It's not only going to be Europe versus the U.S., but there's different teams representing different countries and different areas also within Europe. So I think there's smaller storylines as well that we've been able to learn about and just embrace.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And over in Europe, the countries are a lot smaller too, so there's more pride to where they come from. And over there, you can they're like the size of states, so it's like you can go from one country to another in one day, and so there's a lot of pride because they're so small and packed together. So I'm pretty excited to see teams or players showing up, fans showing up to represent their team and their city.
Most definitely, most definitely.
Yeah. Have you got the chance to like interview any fans on camera or anything like that?
So over these next few days, we will definitely be trying to connect. There's a few things that we're lining up to make the most out of it and connect with people. Yeah, we'll be doing a lot more of that over the next few days. But it's just been anyone that is willing to take an interview with us up to this point. So I've just been trying to get a sense from not only football fans but just regular people. You know what I mean? I'm just curious of like what regular people know, how they feel about American football, arena football. So
Right.
just
Yeah.
picking everyone's brain.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. So, what do you want European fans to take away from the portions of the documentary that are shot in Europe where they live?
I mean, the best thing I could ask for is that they are just proud of what they're gonna have a chance to have something to represent, and I hope that it makes them proud. Seeing their homes, and I hope it gets them hyped up for sure. That seeing that it's real. That's what my job is to put these things on to showcase them, to bring them to life, to show people. So that's what I'm looking forward for, and I hope that they can just be proud of what they're seeing.
Do you see any like rivalries developing in Europe? Maybe like the two German teams, or Glasgow and England, or something like that.
I mean, I think for sure. I think, just understanding now the proximity of Zurich to both of the German teams that we have, and each place that you go to just has a different feel. It's no different from, back home in America. You go to, Chicago, or you go to New York, you feel that energy is much different from the energy in maybe San Francisco or Los Angeles or Vegas or Salt Lake City. So with Stuttgart, they have more of an industrial energy. Um, they're just like, it's almost like they're just grinders, they're gritty, they're workers. And then
Working class, yeah.
I haven't been able to. This is our first day here, but from what I've seen, it's more like fashion city. It's more of that big city type of feel. So I think that's right there is a natural rivalry. Um, there's a ton. Definitely Glasgow and Nottingham right there is a natural rivalry. So yeah.
Is there anything that's like surprised you about um, Europe in general or like the people there?
Bro, I could go on for days. They were just like I was just surprised by how they flush the toilet. I was surprised by, their tap water. Like there's just so many things about how they go about their way and their lifestyle for sure. Yeah, for sure. Just to everything.
Do you know how the league is going to handle travel back and forth? Because, like you said, it's a 9-hour flight, 9-10 hour flight. I mean, doing that multiple times a season, it could take its toll.
Definitely, definitely. I think there's gonna be a lot of dominoes that are gonna be falling, especially after December 15th, when we have that final team announced and we can really hash a lot of the details of our league forward. But as far as the travel, I think more of the schedule will be released to give people an idea of how it's gonna really get done. But just understanding that our team has been preparing for this for sure.
Right on. Nick Durst says, "What is the best part of this trip so far?"
Uh, I, there's been a lot. I would say honestly, I've been able to bond with Kareen, director of fan experience, and learn a lot more about her too. That's been awesome. She's has an extensive, background and resume that she brings, and being, just the more time that you spend with people, things start to make sense. You know what I mean? And I'm very grateful to be on the team that I am, and everyone has their role and everyone has their skill set, and so I think just with on this trip, just being able to learn more about our team, and just having that confidence in us being a group and being able to bring this product forward, I think that's been the best thing about it. Also, you get to see Europe, you know what I mean, and you get to eat the food, you get to, all that stuff is great too.
What metrics do you think, like metrics for success, do you think are important in the first year? Because, the first year is crucial. We're trying to get football to catch on in Europe. So, what's your ideal scenario as far as if in a perfect world, how would you want it to play out in the first year?
I think for me, like what I'm looking for is just a feeling that we can instill in the fans. I think like I was speaking about earlier, just them having pride in our league and them, understanding that they get to be a part of something from the beginning. I think that is just the main focus. It's all about the fans. It's all about the people. It's all about the people, with anything you do. So it's just a heavy emphasis on that.
Yeah, I totally agree. The fans are the reason why a league would succeed or fail, and so I think we got the best fans. Honestly, like every new live we do, there's more and more people that are hopping in the chat and talking, and I think we got the best fans personally. So I think we're well on our way for sure. Nick Durst says, "I was reading that Elf is coming back. How will you guys attract players who are currently playing in the Elf?" Well, as far as that goes, contracts are kind of a tricky thing. They might have a contract with Elf, and so I don't know how that would work, especially because laws are different in Europe than they are stateside, and especially contract laws. So I'm not sure necessarily that it would be the smartest idea to target guys who are already in Elf, but maybe guys who they're looking for a place to play and they're not signed yet. I think
It
that,
could be.
yeah.
Who knows? I think with as far as ELF, the European League of Football, I think you just gotta look at it and just see that there's a ton of talent there. There's people that love the game within that. So I think our approach and our attitude as far as that is just trying to understand and trying to learn more as much as possible about that. I think we do bring a different product from the traditional outdoor football, but there's definitely something there. There's definitely something there as far as the talent that's already in Europe.
Yeah, because arena football is a whole different game. I mean, it's obviously still football, but it's a whole different thing. And so, getting a fan base for arena football is going to be something that's challenging, but I think that obviously it's something that is doable. TSDN Curtis says, "Hey guys, Curtis from TSDN. What's up, Curtis? Glad to see you in the chat."
Shout out to Curtis, man.
Yeah.
But I think also there's a few things that do make sense with what we're doing, and just the fact that we do play on a hockey rink, and it's indoor. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about the weather, and you can just focus on the experience. I think that's a huge benefit. To that could be a huge reason to our a huge key to our success.
Yeah.
Those aspects.
And another big benefit is the closeness too. You're literally right up on the action. I mean, the guys that are sitting on the sideline, especially, you're right there. You're right there near the action. So I think it brings a lot more closeness to the game. And with us, obviously, a arena is going to hold less people than a big stadium, and so that brings an element of closeness that I think that is going to be a valuable asset to the league ultimately.
And I think also we're just trying to bring a product that is affordable, so that families can go to the games together. I think that's something that life has been missing in general. Just being able to go to an event with your loved ones, I think that's something that we're trying to bring for sure to the market.
And that's going to be a big asset to building a fan base too, because a lot of entertainment options are just not affordable for an entire family. I mean, if you have 3 or 4 kids, it can get expensive to say go to an NFL game. And so a key to building our fan base is giving fans that affordable experience. You can take your whole family out for an affordable price, and you can have a good day. And so I think that's going to be something that builds a fan base. And if you can, target, younger people, you're going to be able to have a fan base for years and years to come, because they're going to grow up. And when they become adults, they're going to take their kids, and so on and so forth. And so I think if you're able to target young kids and get them interested in the game of arena football, then obviously it's going to be good for not just the game, but for the fan base too.
Definitely. Like, I'm a father myself, so I just think of how powerful it would be to, be able to be a father, bring my son to a game or bring my daughter a game. Or maybe I'm a mom and I want to, I need to find a way to connect with my son, and maybe this is our outlet. So I think just giving people that opportunity again is super powerful. It's what motivates us. It's what drives us. Um, to I think also another thing is like you can't, with a lot of these events, you can't always go after the game and meet the players and get them to sign, your gear and get to interact with them. I just know if I was a kid and I had those experiences, they would mean the world to me. It would leave me with memories for life, and that's what we're going to be bringing to kids, and fans.
Right. And that's something that those kids will always remember. Because I remember when I was a kid, um, I knew somebody whose brother played for the 49ers. I got a signed ball by Steve Young and Terrell Owens. That's something I still have to this day. I was 6 years old. I still remember getting that ball. And so these little kids getting to meet the heroes they see on the field, the guys they look up to, that's something they'll never forget. They even into adulthood, they're always going to remember that.
Man,
Nick,
it's so important. Yeah, it's just so important. It's a positive thing. It's just a positive thing we're trying to do.
Nick Durst says, "Thank you guys for making season tickets affordable. I know I won them a few weeks ago, but I was listening to Tom in Salt Lake a few days ago, and I was surprised with how affordable they are. My in-laws were diehard Blaze fans because my wife's grandma had season tickets for the Blaze, so we plan on continuing that family tradition that she started. And we're so excited for you, Nick, that you get to continue that family tradition. I obviously love the Blaze. I didn't have season tickets, but I went to a lot of different games. And so seeing that comment, it just makes me smile, because it's like you get to continue the tradition that your wife's grandma started, and that's something that is priceless in my opinion. That's something, the family experience, being together as a family, that's something that's priceless.
Yeah, having something to look forward to throughout the whole, months of the season. And, maybe you bring in a different set of friends and family to different games, but you have that opportunity to do that. And it's special for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we've talked about traditions from Europe that maybe will make their way over to the United States. Do you think there's any aspects of arena football that will make their way over from the United States to Europe?
Of course. I mean, I think they have a lot of respect, like for, like some of the things that we do stylistically. I think they're fans of what we do, the swagger that our players have, and the entertainment value that we have over here. I think that's something that we can definitely share to them, on top of just bringing them football knowledge. You know what I mean? Having people with that experience and bringing them over to Europe, that's just going to make the game better over here in general. That's just something good for the game out here.
Right. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. And for them getting to see a different aspect of football is going to be amazing, because obviously the NFL has gone over there, but getting to see football on a shorter field indoors is going to be something that's new, and I think it's going to be something that people over there really like.
And we're coming out the gates. We're making it affordable. We're giving you guys the Fans Win 2 program, so that if you're a team, if you're a season ticket holder, which I think in general, if you're a season ticket holder of a sports team, I mean, that's kind of a flex. You don't like it's, but you get it at an affordable price. And if your team wins the championship, your season tickets are renewed the next year. Like that just like that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. This is the first time it's really ever been done. I've never heard of that happening. So I think that, it gives fans more of a reason to be invested in the game, because they're getting their season tickets renewed. And so it's like you live and die with every single game almost.
Definitely. And we're embracing
Nick,
the fans.
Nick Durst says, I would love to see a mullet night for an Arizona game, since they play at Mullet Arena. That would be a cool tradition. I'm totally down for that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what promotions will be happening, but that would be awesome.
The best. We got to have a contest for the best mullet for sure.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, well, that's about all I got, all the questions I got. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add before we go, but
no, just, I mean, thank you guys for all your support. It's like every night we come on these lives, or every night we come on these lives, it's like we're going to the dinner table with family. You know what I mean?
that's how I feel
Like all
too.
these people that are here with us at the beginning.
Yeah, I
Be
love
ready.
seeing the same
Be
names in
ready.
chat over and over again, and yeah, it does feel like family dinner. You said it perfectly. So yeah,
I think
well,
that's an amazing thing, man. It's just like, what other leagues are able to bring that. I think it's exciting. If you're a fan, like, come be a part of that. Come
yeah,
rock
yeah,
with us.
yeah, for sure. Well, thanks, Elijah.
Thank you, man. Thank you
Yeah.
always, everyone from the IL. You guys have a great night, great rest of your days.